Hey there YouTube, this is sjm4306, and something very weird just happened. These Amazon Prime little smiley faces, the face detect on my phone detected that as a face, which is really weird. Anyway, I have another repair video. I'd shown in a past video, this guy, Sony Discman D9, I believe this is. I actually got this fully up and running. It arrived pretty much not working at all. And I was scouring eBay, not Amazon, it was eBay. And I found another Discman. So we're just gonna do a little open here. And this one I'm really excited about because it is a model that I personally think is a very nice model. Wow. Wow. The other one feels pretty heavy. The D9, pretty heavy. This just feels even denser. And wow, just look how nice. This is the D-15. And this is a higher end model, substantially higher end. Even the battery cover is metal. And this was, I believe, supposed to come with the battery. Gonna have to contact the seller on that. That's not that the battery would work, but I'd actually planned to gut it and put a LiPo inside. Anyway, we can see inside it's actually very clean. This is actually in pretty good condition overall. And we're gonna actually take a look at this. Undo the hole. And I believe it's the same power supply. Yeah, so I should be able to plug in my rigged up supply. Let's see. This was sold as is. Didn't say it turned on or anything. And you can see it's pretty much doing a whole lot of nothing. We're going to actually have to get into this. And one thing is, it looks like something heavy was maybe placed on this. There's actually a bulge in here. It's pressed downwards, and you can kind of see it's flexed. So, going to have to figure out a way very carefully popping that out a bit. That's kind of a bit of a shame. But anyway, let's just get into this guy. And one thing I've noticed already is the screws seem pretty loose, which is a bad sign. Which means someone's already been in here, someone who may or may not know what they're doing. So I really hope that this wasn't tinkered with too much. I actually missed there was a single screw in the battery bay hidden in there. Once I pulled that out, everything just kind of plopped out. So just taking a cursory look here. That's interesting. Some kind of bodge board in there. You can see there's like a little extra circuit board with some solder going down and some wires and some tape holding that down. That's very odd. It's hard to tell. Soldering looks a little bit messy here, but this looks like sorry about that, just get that in frame. The soldering looks a little messy here, but that looks like some of this is maybe or bodge work, whatever, just like this little board here. All in all, I'm definitely gonna have to dig into this deeper, unfortunately. Get it to power up at all. Let's just see if the spindle turns. This has the same issue. It feels like it's really tight. So it's probably that middle gear in there. Once I remove this flex, I can kind of get a better look, but it looks like, yeah, it's going to have that same problem. But first matter of the, of course, is to get this actually to turn on at all. I actually just took a closer look at some of these caps in here. It looks like there's way too much solder on here. Someone definitely has tried to recap this. But yeah, I really hope that I don't know. Sony would not do that, though. That's the thing. Anyway, let me dig in deeper and see what I can find. Okay, so I was digging around here, and I found something interesting. I think it's the jack itself is a little meh, but if I hold it at the right angle, it does turn on. So that is definitely a good sign. So obviously, gonna have to definitely clean this out. I'm gonna just screw this lightly back in and get it so that I can put a disc in and test to see if it fires up. Okay, so I have it loosely screwed in enough for testing. Turn it on. Press play. It does spin the disc, but like I've already seen, this is actually still seized. So I'm not going to run that for too long. So we're going to have to actually fix the laser not being able to move because the gear is seized. So this is pretty much the same exact problem as the other one. We're just going to quickly take a look at pulling the sled out and getting access to that gear once again. And we're going to do the exact same thing to it that we did with the other one, which is put some white lithium grease on there, clean it off real well. And I have a feeling that this actually works mechanically and mostly electrically. As to whether the audio comes out fine, I don't know. I tried looking to see if any of these caps look like they're modern. It looks like someone just went over everything with a soldering iron and like reheated all the joints, but didn't actually replace anything. Okay, lo and behold, I pretty much just unscrewed the power board, which is up here, unscrewed the main LCD board and whatnot, just to get access to this little area here. I guess I didn't actually have to unscrew this. To pull the entire optical block out, I'd have to remove this connector, which is kind of stuck, and I don't want to force it. I don't want to break anything. So I'm just going to leave it in. If I can service it still in the shell, then that's great, because all I need is access to this middle gear. So same exact thing. There's a little tiny like a C washer that we can pull out with some fine tip tweezers and just pull out this gear. And yeah, this optical block looks very similar to the D9. Okay, so I have the old center gear out. It's the exact same problem. Whatever lubricant they use, it looks like the metal's rusted, the post, but it's not. You can actually scrape it off. It turned into like a wax, which is really weird. And you can see I can actually spin this, and it does actually spin, so that part's loose. And the motor spins freely as well, so it's the exact same problem. So we're gonna clean this off, just scrape off as much of the gunk as possible, relubricate it, stick that back on. This time I was even more careful. I learned from my mistake the first time. As I drop it, I was careful not to ping off the C-clip on the end there, so I can reuse that, thankfully. So anyway, yeah, let's get to lubricating that sucker. Okay, so I got it lubricated, so let's see if this will pull the sled back in. There you go. There you go. Let's see if it'll fire up a disc now. And it's playing. It's scraping, so I'm not going to leave it in that orientation for long, but yeah, it started playing. Let me screw this board down so that nothing's pressing oddly. Get these screws back in as well for the optical drive that I took out, and we'll run a test with it upright. But it looks like this is working. Wow. Okay, so the moment of truth. I have headphones in. Turn the volume down to minimum. Put the power in. Press play. Wow, audio works. The volume wheel is a little scratchy, but just gonna remove this again, drip some isopropyl alcohol in there, work it back and forth, but it sounds amazing. It gets loud too. It sounds really good. Wow. Wow. So yeah, sorry if I was yelling during that portion. I was wearing these guys, my JVC noise canceling headphones. But that sounds really good. I will probably go, maybe not at this exact point, but I probably will go through and replace the caps. It looks like, though, the other unit they had, the D9, most of the caps that failed were the tiny ones and the surface mount ones. This unit doesn't use any surface mount caps. They're all through hole, and they're all kind of held away from the board using longer wires because they did some wiring gymnastics in here to get everything to fit. Because this is quite a bit thinner than the other unit. But it looks like, and it sounds like, the caps are good for now. Though, like I said, I probably should replace them sometime in the near future. But I kind of want to get this buttoned up and just do some listening. I probably will 3D print a battery so I can fit a LiPo in here with some dedicated charging circuitry and whatnot, so you can charge using the original AC in. Which will be really cool. I've seen someone do that online, but they charge a fortune for it, and I could do it myself pretty easily, and I think better. Interesting thing to know I've noticed about these old Discman. I don't know if it's just my luck or if all of them are like this. When it's at minimum, the volume's still kind of not loud, but like I can hear it. You would expect when it's at minimum that the volume would be 0, that you wouldn't be able to hear anything. But maybe it's my headphones are too sensitive. I don't know, but it seems pretty loud at minimum. Anyway, we're just going to get this buttoned up and then do a bit of testing. And yeah, all in all, I guess I'll talk while I do this. Was rather interesting. I see why there's this plastic cutout. It's for the lock for the case. Interesting. Anyway, kind of random. Anyway, what I was going to say is I didn't mention the price when I first got this. That's because I was a little bit embarrassed. I ended up spending something like, I think it was just shy of $80, which is not cheap. That's pretty expensive for me. But the thing is, these guys working go for stupid amounts of money. Like, I've seen them go for something like 300 upwards to like 600 depending on condition, which is ridiculous. So I was hoping, yeah, for that 80, it's an investment. Plus, I actually just want to use this. So yeah, I spent quite a bit more than I normally would for repairs, but I have a feeling that this will be a really good player anyway. So yeah, we're just going to go through and add all the screws back in. Okay, so we're all back together, screwed in. Interesting things to note. These screws on the side aren't necessary to actually pull the back off. They just hold, there's a mid-frame that actually holds some of the screws and the boards in place. But the 3 in the back definitely are necessary, as well as all the ones on the bottom. So yeah, we are just going to plug in headphones now and fire this up. Yeah, notice I have to hold at an angle. Starts right up though, you can see there. And you can hear the audio. Works perfectly. And I can skip tracks pretty fast. All the buttons work. Yeah, all the buttons work. Stop. Yeah, so pretty much this guy works fully. I'm surprised it was that easy. So pretty much the main problem that I saw was the gear, the middle gear on the laser sled motor was seized. Same exact problem as this unit here. So yeah, just a bit of a size comparison. It's quite a bit smaller, and it's actually heavier. More of this is metal, and yeah. So anyway, I am currently working on making my own wireless remote. They do sell one that's stupid expensive. I found some documentation on the protocol, so I'm actually writing a program for an Arduino so that you can use other infrared remotes, or even make a wired remote for this guy. So that'll be really cool once I get that up and running. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I know I got a lot of positive response on the video on this guy's repair. Sorry there wasn't really much wrong with this for me to show you guys fixing it. Plus I was a little bit nervous how expensive. I spent 80 bucks on this. I did not want to mess it up. Okay, so I actually took a fine pair of tweezers and just scratched the metal very carefully and not very deeply, but just to kind of get some of the oxide off. Insert the jack, and it's still a little finicky, but it actually does work. So yeah, this connection was between the actual jack contacts and the plug was a little iffy, but now it works fully. So there you go. So I'm pretty much happy with this now in terms of everything that I needed to address. I actually did end up opening this. Take this disc out so I don't damage it, and very carefully pushing with both my thumbs right at the point that it was bent, and I actually got it a little bit better. It's not perfect. You can see it still bows down a bit, but it's actually relatively straight now in the back. It's not pressed down into the base, so that's actually better. That's an improvement, so I'm happy enough with that. So yeah, other than that, there we go. Good enough. I will definitely give this a good use. I'm gonna see about, like I mentioned, the making a LiPo battery for this that'll charge. It'll have its own dedicated charge controller, so you can plug it into a 12-volt adapter and it will charge itself, all hunky-dory. So I can use this without a wire at all. That would be awesome. So anyway, yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and this is an absolutely stunning unit. And yeah, if you have any suggestions for other things that you'd like to see me fix and I can find for a good price online, then put them down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.